All games have things that don't go as the developers planned, but here, gamers made it happen. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 anomalies fans created in video games. Starting off with Grand Theft Auto 5's Chaos mod. If you ever felt like Grand Theft Auto 5 wasn't enough of a mess, like maybe you weren't dying randomly enough, or maybe bizarre and random things aren't just happening all the time, like, you know, you just thought to yourself, oh man, Grand Theft Auto 5's too coherent. Well, for some reason, if you feel this way, this is the mod for you. The Chaos mod, created by Pongo1231, is a pretty straightforward mod. Every 30 seconds, a random event will occur. Stuff like giving the player invincibility, teleporting to a random location, taking away all the money, giving you lots of money, making a clone of the player, making pedestrians explode. Like, there is a ton of variables. Like, seriously, it is absolute madness. And on top of that, it comes with a tool that allows you to adjust the frequency of certain events. So if you want to make it more fun and less punishing, or more punishing and less fun, or just as insane as possible, you can do all that. Either way, it's gonna get messy. Sometimes there's so much chaos going on, it'll slow the game to a crawl, even on the beefiest of PCs. So, fair warning. As far as fan-created anomalies go, this is actually one of the less crazy things on this list. It's super random, it is frustrating, but it's ridiculous in kind of a good way. But things are definitely about to get weirder, so buckle in. At number 9, time-traveling portals in Portal Reloaded. Like, compared to this previous entry on the list, this anomaly is pretty easygoing, actually. Portal Reloaded is an awesome piece of fan-created content for Portal that you can download as a standalone. It's on Steam right now, and it contains a really clever twist on the standard Portal formula. Normally, you can fire 2 portals which connect 2 locations. But this mod adds a third portal, but instead of connecting the other to it, it instead creates a portal that takes you through time. Your standard portals are pretty mind-bending to be true. Like, Portal can be a game that needs some innovative thought, let's say. But with the addition of time travel, they're a lot more complex. It might not sound like much, but it really adds a whole new layer to the game, and pretty much immediately makes the puzzle in this mod a lot harder than anything in the standard game. Out of all the mods spotlighted on this list, this is probably the best. It's got a whole campaign to go along with the new gimmick, and it's just really well made. It feels like another Portal game, to me, at least. At number 8, Nightmare Rulers in Crusader Kings 3. This is, pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It takes the standard character models found in Crusader Kings 3 and turns them into horrible, twisted monstrosities. You know, the first thing I would think of if I booted up Crusader Kings 3 and, love having nightmares or some crap. The most common effect seems to have these bizarre, elongated torsos sticking out of the character's neck hole. It never looks good at all, ever. But in certain cases, it looks even worse, with the extra arms and fingers becoming even more warped and distorted. It's all ridiculous, but also obviously creepy. The author of the mod, Robert MX, only had this to say about the whole thing in the comments. It was my first attempt at creating a mod for a Paradox game, and I learned I should never touch 3D models. You'd think he'd stop there, but no. He actually came out with a second mod called Even More Terrifying Characters, which is worse. It makes everyone look worse. I'll let you decide which version is the creepiest, but the new ones are definitely pretty messed up looking. At number 7 is a chicken Tekken parody in CSGO. It might be one of the strangest mods we've ever seen here. It's Tekken, but with chickens, made for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's called Chicken with 2 Ks. Get it? Yeah, it's pretty elaborate. We'll have to give it that. They put some kind of work into this thing, but we're just left with the question of why? Why is it specifically referencing Tekken? And why in CSGO of all games? Like, the whole thing, it's totally insane, and I just do not understand it in any way, shape, or form. To actually play it, you pretty much have to have 2 players. There's no such thing as an AI opponent in it. So even setting this thing up can be a bit of a challenge. We're not even gonna say that it's worth it either, because it is not a real fighting game. It's just one of the weirdest mods out there. So, for this list, it is definitely worth mentioning. At number 6 is Geralt, the face absorber from The Witcher 3. Pivoting back to the bizarre again for a moment, this weird Witcher 3 mod called Geralt Face Fusion makes it so that Geralt's face looks, well, a little wrong, to be clear. Basically, what it does is swap out his face texture for another character's face, but it's really weird and off-putting, and it feels worth bringing up. Apparently, the mod was originally meant to make Geralt totally swap faces with other characters, but the best that they were able to put together, the best they could manage, was this sort of weird merging thing. It makes this horrible, creepy mashup face that you're going around being looked at as a normal human being. Well, as normal as Geralt, a Witcher, can be looked at in the world. But it works on a lot of characters, actually, and makes none of them look good. At very least, it's just strange seeing another character's face combined with Geralt's. It's basic, but it's super uncanny. At number 5, a mod made for Team Fortress 2, which is kind of an abomination in like the best possible way. I wouldn't call it terrifying, obviously. It is a little creepy for a weird reason, but it's also definitely ridiculous. It's hard for me to not laugh at it, but it does give that kind of weird squidgy feeling. I don't know how to describe it. That's not a word. I don't think that's a word anyway. The Floppy Minigun is what it's called, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of being a standard, rigid object, you know, the sturdy gun that the minigun normally is, it's actually kind of like a wet noodle. It's just flopping in the wind like a tube sock. And it feels really wrong to see, like, it's weird and off-putting. There are a few floppy weapons floating around in Team Fortress 2, but it's probably the strangest. But it creates that kind of discomfort, which is funny also. I don't know, I laugh at this one, while at the same time feeling vaguely unsettled by it. At number 4, nothing makes sense at all in this Deus Ex mod. If you ever wanted a mod that makes you feel like you're having a bad dream, this is it. This is that mod. What it does is really simple. It just replaces all the dialogue in Deus Ex with gibberish. Like, the lines are completely scrambled along with voice clips, and when we say replaces all the dialogue, we mean it. Everything is totally screwed up, but in a way where you can almost understand what they're trying to say.
Yes, indeed. By the way, Didden, my 3 daughters turned up dead. Here's your op bonus, 1,000 credits.
Like, the original Deus Ex is a game where people kind of laugh at the dialogue because it's questionable at times. Like, don't get us wrong, it's got a lot of great writing in it, but there's also a lot of really goofy stuff. This mod just amplifies the goofiness to the extreme. Like, changing the dialogue isn't the only thing it does either. It swaps some of the character models, makes a couple of changes to how the game plays, and just screws around with the experience a bit. It doesn't totally break the game like a lot of other Chaos mods do, but it does tweak it to make it less playable. For lack of a better word, I guess. It does really feel kind of like a dream where everything almost makes sense, but not quite. If you do love the original Deus Ex, this is actually a really funny mod to play around with.
You work here?
I am the bartender. I am your man.
Have you heard of questions?
And number 3, the sky is a face in Mountain Blade. I know I could say the title says it all, and it does, but like I do have to explain it because that doesn't make any sense. Take that literally, okay? This is kind of more of a glitch than a mod, but it's creepy and bizarre, and it's only weirder when it happens to you randomly rather than forcing it. Sometimes, for whatever reason, the sky texture will be replaced with a face. Just a giant flat face covering the whole skyline. And it doesn't just happen in the sky. Sometimes it happens to faces on the ground as well. People have compared this to the eclipse scene in Berserk, and yeah, I can see it. The funny thing is, it's really easy to replicate. You don't even have to be a modder to do it. All the texture files are really easily accessible in the folder, so if you just rename a face texture to the skybox texture, there you go. You got a bizarre sky face. Like, go crazy. Make everything a face. Why not? The veil guarding this world has already been broken. Embrace the madness. And number 2 is this weird thing in Doom we're gonna label Run For It. Doom has this massive modding community. It's been going strong for well over 20 years. So eventually you're gonna start seeing some weird stuff. Out of everything I've seen, probably the strangest is called Run For It, and it was created by someone named Cherapok. What it does is hard to describe. You just kind of have to see for yourself. Like, it makes it so all the sprite objects on the map grow legs and start running around. Like, literally everything just spawns legs and starts moving. items, ammo, lights, even like barrels. Hell, enemy projectiles will sometimes sprout legs and start running around. As long as it's not a standard enemy, it's liable to start running around. It takes a game that's already chaotic and makes it into a total mess. It's weird as hell, like very strange, but it's also kind of hilarious and pointless in a very, very specific way. Either way, it's a total anomaly and one of the strangest things we've seen in a very long time. And finally, at number 1, it's Fun Souls from Dark Souls Remastered. Dark Souls is a pretty serious game. So, did you ever say to yourself, man, this could use a little bit more fun? I know sometimes I say that about games that are giving me guff. Although I don't say it like that, and I actually, you know what, I don't say it at all. I think it. A modder named Molly Avast thought that exact same thing about Dark Souls, though. But maybe they went a little overboard. Fun Souls is absolute madness. It turns the slow-paced and intricately designed world of Dark Souls into a garish, almost incomprehensible mess. Want to fight glitched-out bosses with goofy names in the wrong order? Want a Chevrolet Silverado in your inventory? Want every surface to be covered in outdated meme images or, just total nonsense? Well, you probably don't want that, but that's what this mod does. I mean, just look at this. It almost hurts your eyes. It's a shitpost in video game form, which you'll either find amusing or the most annoying thing in the world. Either way, it's a total anomaly in the world of Dark Souls. That is all for today. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications. And as always, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.